reporting outside Beaver Stadium for the Daily Targum, Kevin Xavier, and this was not the night for Rutgers football. Gashed throughout the game by the running game of the Nittany Lions, and ultimately it ended in a 28-3 defeat. Their first loss in the first game in conference play. I'm going to bring in now our sports editor, Garrett Stepien. Garrett, what do you think happened out there tonight?
You don't even know what happened when you look back on it. That second quarter is where everything pretty much fell apart. 21 unanswered points until the fourth quarter. The Rutgers kicked the field goal. Could have went for it from the 11-yard line prior to that delay of game, but it kind of boils down to the running game on both sides of the ball. So you take a look at Rutgers being unable to stop the run. Talking about over 300 yards given up to Penn State. Two rushers going for over 100 yards between Stepien and Akil Lynch. And then you look at on the flip side, Rutgers with the three-headed monster, Paul James, Robert Martin, Josh Hicks. None of them were really able to get going. In total, the Rutgers rushing offense tallied 65 yards on 30 carries. Wasn't able to help Chris Laviano, who had a subpar night. The numbers don't really reflect as much, 22-36, 214 yards to Hicks. And Rutgers just couldn't get going on any side of the ball tonight. The 28-3 score reflected that.
Yeah, I definitely agree. 326 yards on the ground for the Nittany Lions in this game. Rutgers came in averaging 244 and a half, and they end up with 65 yards. I mean, that's your story right there. What did you think at the end of the game, where they still had Laviano in, down 28-3, under a minute to play?
Well, when you take a look at that, you wonder. Interim head coach Norris Wilson said he never considered throughout the game putting Beaver Red again. And we remember not too long ago, Beaver Red started opening day. It was a tight quarterback competition all the way dating back all the way to spring. But looking at it from the Laviano standpoint, we mentioned that he had a bit of a subpar night in terms of the numbers, but sacked 5 times and kind of running for his life out there sometimes. You do start to wonder why he was in the game that late. I believe with a few minutes left, 28-3. Now Rutgers kind of scrambling for his life back there near his own goal line, taking the sacks late in the game, hobbling around a little bit. The game's out of reach. Did have to wonder why he was in there. If that's your starting quarterback, thought maybe protect him, put him away. Going to next week, homecoming against Kansas. Kind of take it from there. Norris Wilson said he didn't consider taking Laviano out the entire game, even though the end result was pretty much set in stone. But
not much else you can say about it. I think there's definitely a correlation between right guard Chris Muller going out of the game with an apparent lower body injury in the second quarter, and it happened to be the second quarter where the running game was just completely shut down. Came alive later in the game, but those were garbage time stats. Let's be real about it. So, unfortunately, the end result is a 28-3 defeat for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. They hope to get back on the winning side next week against Kansas at home.